Hello, welcome to my May 2023 CEO memo. I briefly will go through my trip to Manila. I'll go through the brand updates that we are experiencing. I'll go through the GA4 updates, walkthroughs, and then I'm going to spend a bit of time explaining AI. And not ChatGPT. I'm going to talk about actual routes into how you as a business owner will be able to use artificial intelligence embedded within your organization in short order. It is not going to take long. It's going to be a technical experience, of course, and we would hope that we are able to offer services around this. But I'll touch on that at the end. So before I touch about my Manila trip, I will say that the lead generation for us, the general sentiment for us in May was explosive. Significantly more leads came in May than in April. And that might be because April had short weeks, it had school holidays, it had a huge interest rate increase, but also it was the beginning of the new financial year. So the May activity really rocketed up. And I think that we're seeing a general sentiment shift in economic conditions in terms of where people are wanting to place their resourcing. They also recognize, a lot of people are recognizing that the shift to GA4 is important, but that you can't stop your advertising. You do need to move it forward. And critically, what we aim to do is to reduce costs while increasing the overall yield, be that the number of leads or the amount of revenue that you're generating through your website. And so that has been a really awesome thing to see, that we are experiencing good growth. So yeah, very, very energetic and busy month. And I suspect that June is going to be much the same. In terms of my trip to Manila, incredible. I was so blown away and humbled by my one-on-one conversations with the staff that I have in Manila. I hadn't been to Manila since December of 2019, just before COVID, and I'd only met 2 of the 13 staff that we have over there in person. And I don't deal with that team directly. That goes through management, middle management. And so I don't get that chance to have that conversation with them day to day or even week to week. So to be able to sit down individually with each staff member and assess them and have that back and forth conversation really gave a lot of context and showed the strength of the team that we have to me. We asked for an assessment. We do what's called a heartbeat, which is 10 questions where you can measure yourself on a 1 to 10 scale, and that gives a total score. And then with each of those questions, we ask for a handful of paragraphs to understand where you see yourself in your role. And so going through those with each staff member was very illuminating to understand where they want to go with their career growth, where they see some changes that could be implemented within our system, and the overall sentiment that they hold toward the business, which was overwhelmingly positive. No doubt guided by the fact that in my briefcase, I carried pay rises and a new bonus scheme. Just on the bonus scheme, that's KPI driven, and it really sits around not making mistakes, as you might imagine. We'll obviously always indemnify a mistake if it's made on your behalf, and you'll never have to pay for that. But obviously, if I have to pay for it, it is a cost to us. So we're trying to mitigate that. We don't have a lot of that, but by incentivizing a reduction in it, it does help. But then also training and the ability for our staff to not only meet best practice in terms of the leading edge Google products, but also exceed and understand our own internal product stack so that we are delivering at the highest possible level. Now, we took that and we ingested it into our New Zealand-based team. Their pay review is in September, and we have created a KPI framework for what's called committed future work, which is what a project manager has under management, and the training matrix. And then once we have rolled that out, which will be happening first week of June, the staff members in New Zealand, the project managers predominantly, will have clear KPIs around how they can upskill their knowledge and ultimately pass it through to you. So as a company really matured to the point now where we are able to deliver all of the services, we're not looking for explosive growth within the New Zealand enterprise. What we are looking for is being absolutely the best company for you, our long-standing clients. Even if you've been with us a month, that's you should be getting the absolute best from us, and I'm excited to see that come through. So really awesome human resourcing conversations were held in May, and I'm looking forward to the growth in our US expansion and the new employees that we'll bring on with that. So brand-wise, I recommend, if you haven't been to our YouTube channel, to go and have a look. We have an awesome series of animated videos that talk about our wonky tips. Basically, we take a radio ad, 30 seconds, and then we turn it into an animated video. But we've also updated some long-form 90-second videos around what is the data health kit for our new clients, how projects work at Wonks, which can be a new experience for people. We'll also have a few more coming on stream about us and the Wonks model and about our general services. This is very powerful. We use all of these videos in our ad sequencing, and that is delivered out to 25 plus male and female in the Auckland region. So we are getting around about 200,000 impressions per month on those YouTube videos, and we're keeping that content fresh, nice and current, so you're not seeing the same stale videos. Coupled with that, we have 4 new fleet vehicles on the road, and they have completely new decals. That's being done by our good friends at Airborne Signs. If you need any signage work, I really do recommend Airborne Signs. And the graphics were done by Toast, who are a design studio, web development studio on Piranha Road, long-standing, I think it's Piranha Road, friends of Wonks, if you will, and they've done an incredible job with our graphics. So the vehicles will be driving around, and you'll see those if you are on the road, I guess, if you're in Auckland. But we've also got a new website coming out, and the website is looking, as the kids would say, schmick. Really good. A lot of work from my side from a content perspective, but really coming together nicely. Walkthroughs this month. Our commercial director, Steffi, has joined the club, and she's done a walkthrough for Merchant Centre. Raja did an awesome job on the GA4 interface. So if you want to understand that a bit more, then please check that out. If you've got changes that you want to make to your WordPress website, Sahib has done another walkthrough with regard to that. So if you've listened to me go on for this long, I really wish that Zoom, which is how I record these, would show how long I've been rambling for, but it doesn't. Thank you for listening to this point. What I wanted to show was Microsoft Build 2023, which was an event that was held last week. There are 28 sessions, which I will watch. So far, I've watched 8 of the sessions. And as I do, I'm noting down what the session was called, who the speakers were, and then I'm putting down notes. This was a revelation. I've been talking about AI since the beginning of the year. Most people talk about ChatGPT and feel as though that endows them with some knowledge around artificial intelligence. I think it's important to understand that ChatGPT is what will be referred to as a co-pilot. Now, co-pilots are going to become ubiquitous within society. You'll have a co-pilot for most things you do. Obviously, ChatGPT is the co-pilot that most people are currently familiar with, but in terms of what's coming out very soon, Bing will integrate into ChatGPT, and this will be consumer use. What will be really useful is that you will be able to search for a recipe. It'll give you the details. Then you can ask ChatGPT to give you the ingredients list, and it will do that. You'll be able to have the countdown plugin. You'll go to countdown, you'll pop the ingredients into your shopping cart, and then you'll be able to order, and it'll be delivered to your house the next day. So the efficiency, the productivity, the ease of use within the Copilot for ChatGPT is going to be incredible. Office 365, a lot of integrations are going to come with that. That's more so going to help in the business units for companies, because you'll be able to use co-pilots and then integrated plugins for specific information. If you're a realtor, a real estate agent, legal, fraternity, accounting type thing. Teams is going to have more integration and efficiency, and then Windows. So if you're using a Windows machine, next to the start button will be a co-pilot, and you'll be able to ask questions around your operating system and then get changes made really quickly, because it'll give you the ability to do that. So that's all good for the general consumer. Where the AI building blocks are really going to come through are two particular products. So the first one is Microsoft Fabric. Now, Fabric is a unified data lake where you'll be able to plug in over 100 connectors. Now, this is going to be really useful for you as our client, because we're going to start plugging in your data. We're going to match it with our information that we hold on your behalf. So your project plans, your invoices, your job activity reports, any content that we have for you. And you're going to be able to ask our co-pilot information about your business. So imagine if you wanted to say, what's my return on ad spend from phone numbers, phone link clicks in the last 12 months? And it will give you the number. You're paying $15 per phone link click. And then, well, how can I improve that? And it will give you information around that. So we will be using this to deliver. But first, we need to pipe the connections, the data sources into one lake. So this is quite revolutionary. A lot of this builds on top of our existing stack, what we call the Wonks model. So I'm very glad that we made the decision to work with Microsoft. But the big ticket is the AI Studio, or Azure AI Studio. And as you can see here, it's going to ground Azure using OpenAI and OSS models with built-in vector indexing, retrieval, augmented generation, create prompt workflows, and importantly, AI safety is built in. Now, there is a whole new language that is coming through with this. Like, I'm having to go back to the dictionary and go, what do these terms mean? Extensibility, which is the ability to extend, or orchestration in the way that you train the AI. So I'll go down here and show you the stack, which I think is important. So you've got your plugin extensibility, and that is where, as I said before, the countdown, if you wanted to get information from ChatGPT and Bing, but then you want to shoot it off to another entity. Let's imagine it's Xero. You've got some information that you want to send to your balance sheet, or you want to reconcile GST. You're going to be able to do this with a Xero plugin, TradeMe plugins. You know, think about all of the banking plugin potentially, as long as that security is tight. So there are going to be so many more plugins. Then you build a UI. The UI is going to be really simple. If you've used ChatGPT, it's going to be a straight prompt window, and it gives you the information back. Then you've got the orchestration. So you've got prompt and response filtering. So what are the answers that we're giving? And then you've got safety around that. So safety in two fronts. One, from our side, we don't want people using, prompt. The word is escaping me, but when people are trying to game the system. AI is kind of like a toddler. You can ask it questions in different ways and crack it. And so you prompt exploitation, I think it is. And then you've got the negative things, like people asking about violence or drugs, things like that. We want to filter that stuff out and not allow the AI to give information with regard to that. So that's happening within the orchestration piece. But then you've also got meta prompt. So keeping, if you are asking the question, we're only giving information with regard to your details. The AI will not give information about a different company. So we've got to make sure that these things are dealt with. Then you've got the grounding, which is happening as the computational power behind the scenes in the Azure AI Studio. And then that's built on top of the foundation models. So DALL-E, the ChatGPT type details. And then as you train your own models, it's going to allow you to be specific to the co-pilot that you've created. So when we create the Wonk AI, it's very much going to be around the Google stack of products, so that we'll be building a model with relation to digital marketing, as opposed to creating a model that might have to do with the construction space or the accounting space. So it'll be very relevant to your type of business. There is a Copilot example. I recommend, you can get the GitHub. I recommend going and watching this particular one, The Era of AI Copilot by Kevin Scott. You can find this online. I might actually pop a link into it for my blurb, because it does explain how it's going to work in a really well worked through way. But then he has an example that he has created where it uses a whole bunch of models. He's created his own Copilot to post directly to LinkedIn from his podcast. It creates a new image. It gets the bio of the people that were in the podcast with him. It's incredible. It really is. And it was relatively straightforward for him to create. So where we're going now is the US expansion, what we call the tech stack. The US model will be completed by the end of June, and then we will be moving into Fabric. We'll internalize some of this work with our senior management team first, then we'll bring it out a bit wider to our insights team and to our operations team. And by the beginning of 2024, we think we will be ready to not only offer you AI from our services, but potentially be offering the ability for you to use us to help build AI for you, as long as you've got the data repository, the silo, and then you've got the need, right? What's the use case for your business? So there is obviously safety in mind here. So just an outrageous month. May was crazy, and I had lucid dreams the night after I watched the keynote around Fabric and Azure AI Studio, because I could just see the depth and incredible things that are coming down the pipeline, and how that's going to change the way that Wonks works and delivers to you, but how your business is going to change against a backdrop of incredible staff, incredible clients, and a general fervor toward being better and owning this space. So I'm very, very proud of my team. I'm very fortunate to work with each and every one of our clients. I'm sure June is going to be even bigger month for us, and I'll look forward to letting you know how that's gone in 30 odd days. So have a wonderful June, go well, and